Hello everyone, this is ICBs here and today we are talking about Daredevil Born Again episode 3. Now as mentioned before, I was actually hoping for some action in the third and the fourth episode. Instead we got some courtroom drama, which I'm just going to say is actually very interesting. But I'm definitely thinking that in episode 4 we will definitely get to see some action because I think that's the only way forward. And since Matt Murdock is all about being a lawyer, in this episode we get all of that in all of its glory and it's really good. For starters, in this episode, due to the absence of Wilson Fisk being in the underworld, a lot of the under gangs are fighting with one another and Vanessa thinks that they should help them, but Fisk thinks that they should stay out of it, that it's beneath them. So Fisk wants to stay out of all of that, but still Vanessa ends up sending one of Fisk's men to, deal with the situation and eases things over with all of those gangs. But finally moving over to Matt and him defending Ayala, which is the White Tigers. Now in the last episode, Mark was able to save Torres from these corrupt police officers, who is also a prime witness in this investigation. When Torres is asked to come to the stand, he ends up lying because he is intimidated by the police officers, which is a really big blow for Mark because he was really counting on Torres to go and speak the truth. Now because Mark is out of options, this forces Mark to reveal Ayala's identity as the White Tiger, and this makes Mark's case very strong. And due to this, Mark is able to bring in a lot of witnesses that White Tiger has helped during his patrols, and this definitely ends up changing the jury's mind. And even though Mark's opposition has a really good point about good people being capable of doing bad things, the jury still favors Mark's client Ayala, the White Tiger, and he is able to go out freely, which is great. And that's basically the bulk of this episode. Even though it probably took me like a minute to explain the entire plot of this episode, that's what the bulk of this episode was. The most interesting thing happens towards the end of this episode, where Ayala dressed up as White Tiger goes out to where he's very suddenly and shockingly murdered by someone, and we don't see who that someone is because that person's face is in shadow, but when that person walks in towards the camera we can see some light falling on his chest and we can see the Punisher logo. Now we know that Punisher is going to be in this show. We're not sure if this is Punisher. Maybe he is, but it makes no sense why he murdered White Tiger. Earlier we also saw Wilson Fisk being angry about the results of this trial because again we have to remember that the only reason Wilson Fisk won was because he made his rhetoric against vigilantism. And right after that you see Punisher supposedly kill White Tiger. I think it's going to definitely piss a lot of people off because I think a lot of people are big fans of White Tiger, and to see him go off like that is definitely a big blow because he could have definitely been an amazing character. But I don't know what this show is all about. I think so far in these 3 episodes, 2 major people have been murdered, so yeah. Now we know that Fisk is all against about people who are vigilantes. We are not sure about the Punisher. Now I'm not sure if Punisher offed White Tiger because Wilson Fisk asked him to, because that would mean that the Punisher and Wilson Fisk, they're both working together, which means that Punisher's ideologies align with Wilson Fisk. So this is definitely going to bring Mark out of his retirement and actually go back to crime fighting, which I'm definitely hoping will happen in the next episode. I'm not sure if Mark will put on his Daredevil costume, but I'm really hoping that there will be much more action in the next episode, because if there's not, I will lose my shit actually. Well, without wasting too much of your time, I think this is it for this video. I don't want to talk about too much because I'm waiting for the next episode, because I really think that 4th episode will be somewhat important and will give us much more clarity on these episodes so far. So yeah, but yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. It was somewhat of a boring episode with the courtroom drama, but I know that this is Daredevil and this is what Daredevil is about. I definitely thought that the courtroom drama was really good, but it would have been nice if it was mixed in with some action. But yes, the courtroom drama still felt interesting, but some action would have been nice. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and as always, it's time for a goodbye.